It's nice to get my teeth into a few good fish. I mean, what a session. 12 fish, 3 40-pounders, a couple of 30-pounders. I just really enjoy this sort of fishing, you know, spot fishing in weedy waters. It's all about, you know, condensing that bait onto a little spot. It's nothing revolutionary, it's just tidy angling. So sexy. Well, welcome. You join me, I'm at Farrier's Lake. It's my syndicate water. It's one of the Carp Society venues. And yeah, I've managed to get myself a couple of nights fishing. And yeah, so Joe's come down to do a little in-session piece. And I got down yesterday, managed to slide in a swim, and it's been pretty good so far. I thought I'd get down the night before, get set up, ready for today. But the action kicked off straight away. I had a fish within a couple of hours of getting in here yesterday. Nice 28-pounder, followed by a smaller one shortly later. And then this morning, literally just before Joe turned up, had a nice 𝗙់𝗹𝗵𝗆, which is, you know, that's cherry on the cake. That's a fish of a session already. But to be honest, I'm not going to lie, it does look good for another bite. There's a few fish milling about in the weed, just fishing up, you know, up to the weed. I have literally just a minute ago just had a funny little occurrence. I don't know, because the line's going over the weed. I don't know if maybe the fish just got caught in the line. Didn't eject the lead, so I'm not sure if it was a bite or not. But we got the rod back out, just topped up with a little bit more bait, and yeah, I'm sitting tight just next to my rod here because I don't think a bite's too far away, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's nice to be out fishing anyway. Bundle it all in there. Whee! There you go. Not quite as big as the last one, but still, real nice fish. Got like a real quirky little mouth on him. Yeah, well, we said, didn't we? We were just chatting there about what we were doing and that, and I felt like a bite was on the cards, and here's that bite. Lovely common. There's a lot of commons in this lake, so yeah, there's only a few mirrors, so they're few and far between. But yeah, we'll take a few stills of this one, pop it back, and then we'll have a look at some rigs and some baits and bits and pieces just on how I'm going to approach this session and how I've been catching them so far. Yeah, nice, very nice. Like fishing farriers is actually, like this time of year, is quite short range work. Just because the amount of weed in the venue, because it's a really shallow venue, you know, as you'll see, there's areas of weed that it's like a football pitch. But the carp love it. They spend a lot of time in it. They're happy to feed in it. So you've just got to find an area that is sort of close to the weed, still relatively safe to fish, because obviously you don't want to be losing loads of fish in the weed. And having a nice balanced setup that definitely helps you fish in the weed. I've done a lot of it over the years. I always prefer like the sort of softest rod you can get away with. Still want a bit of backbone. Like I've got an X5, it's a 3 1/4, just a 12-foot rod, but you've got a really nice soft tip. So when you do hook into that fish, you know, you can really feel what everything's doing, but you've still got a bit of backbone just to be able to get the fish out the weed. And obviously because you're fishing in the weed, it just makes sense. I've got 23-pound 𝗙𝗍𝗍. Most of the year I do use 18 on here, and I've not had a problem, but just because it's back end of the season now, the weed really is quite thick. So I've just stepped it up to the 23, and you know, I've had 5 bites now and landed all 5. So that just goes to show that that's working fine. Got just a standard leg clip set up. This is the slick one. And obviously when I get the bite, I want the fish to be able to drop the lead, come up to the surface away from any weed beds, and you find you can get them in a lot easier that way. Because if you keep the lead on there, you will gather like a large amount of weed around the lead. So get that out of the way. I got a naked camo anti-tangle sleeve on the end of the tail rubber. That's obviously because they haven't got any tubing up the line or anything. I'm just fishing it straight to the leg clip, so that stops the rig tangling. And then my rig, it's worth mentioning that I do use quite heavy lead, either a 4 ounce or 4 1/4 ounce lead. Now I'm only fishing, you know, I'm only fishing 15 odd rod lengths. Now that might sound like a big lead for that sort of distance, but the spots are quite clean because of the nature of the lake. You know, it's very weedy. There aren't going to be loads of clear areas. So the anglers sort of like, you come in to swim and it is a bit, there are certain spots, you know, you can fish 2 or 3 different spots in each swim, but obviously the anglers, there's a lot of people fishing, there's a lot of big fish in here, there's 20 fish over 40 pounds, so it's going to be busy, and therefore, because of the way the weed is, the anglers do, you know, you do fish the same spots, it's just the way it is. But to be honest, when you're catching 40-pound commons, I don't think it really matters. But a heavy lead, because of the clear spots, a heavy lead just makes sure that your lead can't skip across this clear spot if any fish are in there. And I say that because sometimes you're fishing over the weed, your line can actually come up off the bottom where it's going over the weed. And if the fish are feeding, it only takes, if the line's riding up, it only takes the fish to come sort of short of your lead, and the line will ride up over the top of the fish. So you need a nice heavy lead to keep your rig in position all the time. And then the actual hook length, I have started, I've got two different hook lengths out. I've got Ronnie rig with a 15mm pop-up on, just because the bait that I'm putting out is boilies and sweet corn. And I've had 1 fish on the 15mm pop-up, and I've had 4 on this rig. Now, they've been pressured, they've been caught a few times, these fish, and I just feel like towards the back end of the season, you know, it doesn't hurt just to have a little bit of a finer rig. You know, big clumbersome rigs such as like a Ronnie rig, a 360, even a big multi rig, stuff like that. It's, you know, it's a big heavy rig for the fish to deal with. Don't get me wrong, they catch absolutely loads of fish, but I also like just to have just a little finer presentation. And, you know, obviously growing up doing a lot of particle fishing on Horseshoe, I used to have a ticket on here years ago, and that was all sort of like corn and particle fishing back then. Fishing places like Linear Fisheries and that. You can't beat a nice little critically balanced hook bait on a nice, you know, a nice fine hook length, just sitting down, just something really easy for the fish just to inhale. They haven't got to work too hard to pick the hook bait up. So yeah, so I just got maybe, I don't know, 10, 11 inches of 20-pound camo semi-stiff. I've got a size 6 barbless, it's barbless only on here. So a size 6 barbless medium curve. Just there I've got a little, tiny little shot. And then I've just got a little balanced corn rig, and that literally just sits down nice every single time. If a coot picks it up, it's gonna sit back down. If a fish, you know, if a fish inhales it, it's gonna get you a bite pretty quickly. And yeah, it's just perfect for this sort of situation, you know, putting boilies and corn out. I've just started my session, 1 on a boilie and 1 on a piece of corn. Not putting loads of corn out, sort of maybe a small tin of corn per fish, along with like a kilo of boilies. And yeah, it's just a really nice presentation for this sort of fishing, especially like when you're fishing on a clean bottom. If I was fishing over a weedy bottom, it'd be completely different. I'd be using a different rig. But for spot fishing like we are today, this is perfect. If you're interested on exactly how to tie this rig so you can use it yourself, click on the link in the description below, and there's a step-to-step guide to tying this rig. Actually, I'm away. There you go. So we were just literally doing a rig piece there on the rig that's just caught me this fish. Well, just got us this bite. Yeah, nice. Don't mind getting interrupted like that, do you? Nice steady pressure. Haven't got to go mad, just got to keep it moving. Just keep it moving all the time. You know, it is a soft rod, so you obviously, you can apply a certain amount of pressure, But the trick to it is just keep it moving. I can see it's like rooted in a weed bed there. I can see all the bubbles coming up off the bottom. So yeah, like there's no need to jump straight in the waders. Obviously you want to make sure you concentrate on getting it past the weed really. Once he's closer in, you ain't got to panic too much. He's a nice big one, Joe. Nice. Very nice. How about that one? Yeah, just under £36. Just got interrupted with just doing the rig piece. And yeah, goes to show the rig's the one to use. Happy days. Nice, big common, in the sunshine. Yeah, lovely, absolutely lovely. Well, there she is. Just under £36. Nice bar of gold in the sun. See you later, mate. Go on then. That rod there took me a couple of casts to get right, but this sort of fishing, when you're fishing these holes in the weed and up against weed beds and stuff, you know, and you're fishing for big fish as well, so you're not getting like loads of bites. So you want to make sure that, well, that it's absolutely bang on really. You don't want to be putting it out thinking, oh, was it in the weed, was it not in the weed? Sort of make sure that you're 100% happy with how the rod's gone out. You know, make sure you feel the lead, even though it's shallow, make sure you feel the lead go down and crack on that spot. Because you never know, like you could have hooked that fish and where they're sort of, because you're fishing up against the weed bed, they can power off and they can just disrupt a sort of bit of weed and it could float over the spot or anything like that. So yeah, so just make sure that you're 110% in when the rod goes out, that once you clip that bobbin on, you haven't got to think in your mind, you just know that it's set and it's fishing. And that one was pretty good. Evening's drawing in. Just going to get the rods back out nice and fresh on the deck, because where they've been out for a couple of hours, loads of drifting weed had just caught in the line. And well, to be honest, I thought I was going to have a bite. There's been a few fish milling around the spot and nothing for a few hours. Then all of a sudden they just rocked up, not loads of them, but you know, you see the odd bow wave, odd little bubble coming up. So there's definitely fish in the area for sure. But I wasn't happy with all the lines with the weed and axe. Obviously, it's a bit of a mare, as you can see. But I'm just going to get the rods on the deck, nice and fresh. Get my line lay nice and sorted out. A couple of spods over the top just to freshen up the spot. And yeah, going to cook some burgers, have a cider, and just watch the evening come in really, and just chill. One thing that I do with all my fishing is I use like elastic markers. Just a piece of pole elastic tied around when I wrap up my rods. Just tie a piece of pole elastic next to the tip. And it just saves me having to wrap up all the time. So if you actually don't get a bite, then you can just clip it up. You haven't got to use the sticks again. Especially when there's like little rafts of weed in that coming about. Sometimes you want to just do it all nice and quick and flick the rod back out as quickly as you can. So just by having an elastic marker on there, it just enables you to clip the rod up, wind it in, and just basically chuck it straight back out, so you're not messing around really. was alright, wasn't it? Just settled down. Had a lovely burger, my folded cheese. We had a bit of a debate about how we should put the cheese on top of the burger. Sunk a cider and had a bite. How about that one? Just under £45, second 40 of the day. Brilliant, like that little balance rig over that, you know, whole and mulched up SLK, bit of corn. This time of year, they just, you know, they're on the feed, these big girls. And yeah, you fish the right presentation. And these things ain't too far away, really. Yeah. Absolutely made up. A couple of 40s, nice big 30, few other fish. What a day's fishing. 7th fish of the day. It was only going to be a matter of time. I put those rods back out fresh, few spods over the top, and just on darkness they were milling around that spot. And I said to Joe, just as we were having a burger and a cider, I said, it ain't going to be long. We had a little beep, a couple of little liners, and yeah, we got one. And look at it. What a cheese. Brilliant. I'm going to get it back. One last little look. A £45 common. Well, just under £45. But I'm not going to argue over a couple of ounces. Yes. Lovely. Look at that. What a fish. What a place. There's not many places you can go and catch a brace of £40 commons. Look at the width of it. Go on then, girl. Get the saddle out. Never even made the drinks. Look at him on the spot, that's him just before the weed. He's a nice chestnutty one. Nice 27.5 this one. Literally just popped the kettle on and we were going to do a little recap of what happened through the night. And how it went, and we had a bite. Got interrupted straight away with this one. I was contemplating rechucking the rods out this morning and freshening the spot up, but to be honest, I've seen a few little bubbles coming up and I just thought, I'll sit tight. And yeah, this classic morning bite, absolutely perfect. Lovely 27.5 common. And this, well, this one's number 10 now. And with a couple of special ones that we've already caught, 10 fish. What a trip, perfect. Well, you see me catch that 27-pounder. A great big plane taking off, a bit noisy this time of day. That's weedy me out. Yeah, still got me finger stool on. I was actually spodding whilst I had that bite. Yeah, caught the 27-pounder, popped it back, chucked the rod back out, which is this rod that I've just had the bite on again, same rod, and literally put 3 spods over the top. Joe had the kettle boiled for the second time. I'm going to turn it off again. yeah, we got one on. And I mean, this time of day now is absolutely textbook really for this time of year, I think. You know, these fish definitely want a bit of food. But you've got to have the right approach as well, you know, you've got to have it all working nice, you know, find a nice spot. It's a very weedy lake, you know, no different to Horseshoe, which is the last place I fished. I fished Horseshoe and then come to here. Now, you know, really do spend your time finding a spot that you're happy with, and then once you found it, that's it. You can set your stall out, you know, a couple of decent rigs over the top, and yeah, you're away really. I mean, as long as you're in the right area, you know, 10 minutes in the right spot is better than 10 days in the wrong spot. You definitely got to be on them. That was good fish, that. Just concentrating then. Thought better. Just deciding whether I need to take it very seriously or semi-seriously. Last night we cooked some food, and then just into darkness I had one that was just shy of £45, which was just colossal. Second 40 of the trip. You know, it wouldn't matter if I'd have caught those. Might be looking at the third 40 of the trip. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered if I'd have just caught those two fish, but this one is number 11. But yeah, we had the 45 at, I can't remember, it was like 9-10 o'clock last night, and then I've had two 28-pounders through the night, and then a 27-pounder that you just see then, and this great big thing here. Look at him, Joe. Yeah, oh, blimey. She's a peach. Should have a quick look now. Should have a sneak peek. What are you saying? Huh? Rotate, look at that. That's mega, that. Certainly a good 30-pounder. You never know, it might be close to the old naughty. Well, there you go. The third 40 of the trip. Smidgen over 42 pound, and what a peach. Really nice. Proper autumn fishing, spot fishing, nice bit of bait. Yeah, really nice. Actually caught this one while spodding, and it's only 4-5 foot deep, the spot, but it just goes to show that when you get it all right, it comes right. And yeah, you can go from having a good session to a mega session. So brilliant. See you later, buddy. I don't want to let it go. What a fish. Well, I can't, what a way to, you know, even if we didn't catch nothing else now for the rest of the session, what a session it's been. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it and had a little insight into the way that sort of you can approach these sort of venues. But yeah, let's finally go get that coffee on and yeah, just sit there and have a nice drink. Well, we couldn't resist it. We had to have one more. We put that 42-pounder back, and we stuck there, finally put the kettle on, and I thought, well, it won't hurt, will it, just to chuck the rod back out. It's gone again. Yeah. Oh. Lovely, lovely fishing. Nice to be out fishing, you know. It's been a funny old year this year, and I've had a lot of work on and stuff like that. So yeah, it's nice to get my teeth into a few good fish. I mean, what a session, 3 40-pounders. This will be number 12. So yeah, 12 fish, 3 40-pounders, a couple of 30-pounders. yeah, brilliant, really nice fishing. Like I say, I just really enjoy this sort of fishing. You know, spot fishing in weedy waters is all about, you know, condensing that bait onto a little spot. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing revolutionary. It's just tidy angling. If you just make sure that it's all nice and neat, good couple of rigs over the top, and yeah, you can have some brilliant fishing, especially this time of year. Like autumn, this time of year now is my favourite time of year to go fishing. So yeah, it's been nice to catch up with Joe, chewing the fat, even though I lost me debate about the cheese.
You don't explain, no one knows what we're on about.
Right, so basically, we were cooking some burgers last night, and we put some square cheese slices on the burger. Now, Joe didn't fold his cheese over, but I put my cheese slice on the burger and then folded the four corners to make it thicker on the top of the burger. So we decided to take it to the public, and yeah, I got owned basically, and lost the poll, which I don't understand why, because by folding the cheese, you're appreciating it more. I don't know. Anyway, I lost. So
going at the outtakes reel or something.
yeah, but yeah, it looks like another decent fish. Number 12. I'm not going to get him out. I'm just going to slide him back now. But yeah, he's a good 20 pounder, probably 25. So yeah, nice. Get him straight back.